Hi, my name is Megan Mason, and this is my EDL 850 Module 1 Personal Intro and 3 Levels of Government Control of Public Education. Some personal information first. This is my husband, Zach. We've been married for almost 5 years in July. We have 2 kids, Markayla, who's 3, and Paxton, who is 1. I'm from a small town in Nebraska, farm girl. Been there all my life. When I was ready to go off to college, I was recruited to do track and field at McPherson College in Kansas. And so I was a thrower. I was threw jav, discus, shot, the hammer, and the weight throw. My husband and I met on the track team. He was also on the track team. And I received my degree in history and special education for 6 through 12. Some of my hobbies are being outside, being a farm girl. We love just being outside on our land, and I'm trying to pick up gardening as a hobby. Not going the greatest right now, but hopefully in the next year I can come back and say, yeah, it's a true hobby of mine. And just being with my family and friends. Anytime I can be with them, that's where I am. Work experience, my first job was 6 through 8 adaptive special education in Pratt Skyline, and I was at the SCKSEC cooperative there. I was there for a year, then my husband got a job in Colony where he is currently located also right now. So when we moved, I received a para position at Colony and for a semester, and then my co-op A&W decided to take me as a long-term sub at Royster Middle School, where I was the 6 through 8 EDBD teacher. I loved it there, so I became the full-time teacher then for 2 years there. And while I was there, I coached at the college Neosho as a throws coach. Then what brought me back, I'm now located at Crest, Colony Crest, where my husband is just because of the same schedule, closer, not a long drive, and I am currently the 6 through 12 adaptive special education teacher. I coach track here. I'm also teaching driver's education. The objectives that we'll be going over today are supports the public school receive, who's in charge in various levels of education, 3 levels of government influence, and how support in education leads to success and well-being of students and adults. So first, support the public schools receive. They get it from 3 levels. They have the local, which is your town, county, district. These are where representatives are elected by these residents who live there, and these are usually your school board members. Then you have your state. Again, residents within the state elects its representatives for each of your districts. And then your federal, which is your national government. So starting off with the local, they are the ones that set your expectations and policies for the district. They hire, supervise professional teaching staff. Their funding mostly comes from property and sales taxes, and different types of schools you'd see are public, charter schools, independent schools, and homeschools. Looking at the state, we have the Kansas State Department of Education. Most states create and establish their own standards, what they're going to have the districts do to achieve each year for the students. This sets the local school, and then they also let the school districts delegate how much of their authority in their districts, but however, the states can always intervene. The state accounts for about 45% of the school budget. And then you had your federal. So the funds, they fund 10% of the government-run schools, and this is for most of the operating costs. This comes, however, with some rules and regulations that each district has to follow. And then in 2013, we saw that there was $72 billion spent on education. That was the 3rd largest area of spending. So the federal ensures that no student is denied the right of equal education opportunities. They provide, again, the funding that helps for these educational, and then they support research development. How do we improve each level of education so we are doing what's best for each kid? So the various levels regarding education. I'm looking at CREST, where I am assigned. I thought it'd be a lot easier than doing it through my co-op. So our local is kind of unique. We are separated into 6 geographic boundaries. We have our Colony West, Colony Southwest, Welda, Lone Elm, Kincaid, and then the fringe part of Colony. We have our school board members, Travis Church, who's the president. He administers the meetings. If he is not there or is absent, Lance Ramsey is the vice president and the admin. Travis Church is also our representative for the co-op, so he goes to all the cooperative school board meetings also. We have Brian Miller, Laura Schmidt. She is a nurse and she kind of takes over the health policies that we have here. We have Kevin Nalges, Niles, Nathan Beckman, who's our at-large board member, and Jason Beckman. Our at-large school board member, he is the member that he has to, as long as he is inside the district, can be on the school board because they want each school board member to represent one of those 6 geographic boundaries. So he is our 7th one. These guys are all volunteer positions, and they work together with our administrations on like our handbooks and what policies that we want to in place at our district. Okay, then we have the state level. So I set up a picture to the right, as you can see right here, of all the different districts in Kansas and who goes to which district. Of course, we have Randy Watson, who's a commissioner. He is the paid position and serves as the head of the state Board of Education for Kansas. And then I listed all the other board members. They serve their districts. They all work together to establish policies, regulations, budgets, and create goals for the schools in Kansas. Okay, various levels regarding education is our final one is federal. We have Dr. Miguel Cardona, who is the Secretary of Education. I was going to list all 21, but that was going to be really hard to fit. They all of these members administer and establish policies that provide equal opportunities to um, all students, no matter what, no matter race, gender. Um, so then we move on to our influences of component 6.1. This states that it evaluate, develop, and implements management, communication, technology, school level governance, and operation systems that support each student's learning needs and promote the mission and vision of school. So I believe that this was our local level of government. So that would be our school board members and administration. They're developing all of these policies and our handbooks, and they're trying to find that mission statement for the school that they want the district to follow and reach. In order to do this, they look at each student's learning needs. Okay, component 6.2. 6.2 says that it evaluate, develop, and advocate for a data-informed and equitable resources plan that supports school improvement and student development. I find that this is more the state level because they set the standards that all the school districts need to achieve, and they have any data they want, so like our state testing, that kind of drives what the local schools need to do. But I also thought in a way it could also be a little bit of the local side because at the end of the year we do our wellness and other surveys and data that we're always looking at, even our district testing, and that also influences what we're going to do in our school. And then who influences component 6.3? This states relatively reflectively evaluate, communicate about, and implement laws, rights, policies, and regulations to promote student and adult success and well-being. This is the federal level because, like I said before, they ensure that no student is denied the equal opportunities for education. They, they promote and provide funding for educational opportunities for high need students, and they support educational research and development. So we have continuous improvement of the state and local education. So, supporting educational success. Research strongly suggests that more educated adults live healthier, longer lives and are less likely to divorce, have children out of wedlock, and commit crimes. It is not just about economic growth, but the quality of life and social well-being. So, by taking all three levels and then working together to work towards the common goal of what do students need for success, and it's not just everyone fits one shoe. It's how can we look at all these different factors and figure out what is best for our kids. So the correlation, this assignment correlated with these standards 1 through 3 by getting a better understanding of what each level of government contributes to the education system. I was able to see how each level impacted the education system throughout its history. Why is it relevant? This assignment was relevant for me because I honestly didn't pay attention to the politics outside my district. It opened my eyes that I do need to be more aware of how each level impacts each other and what does that mean and where are we going with our education system. And then reflection. This assignment will change um, how contented I am in each level. So am I staying up to date? Am I speaking with my administrators to help me understand more of this? As a future leader, I will be more confident in knowing how to find information on my local, state, and federal levels in education. It will also help me fulfill and understand the policies that come towards my district from the state and the federal level. And this will help me drive to how to incorporate that into my local school district. These are the references that I used. And thank you very much. I look forward to working with all of you and continuing to learn from each and every one of you.